Welcome back to my channel, my friends. This is an exciting video. As I said in the last video, I have signed up for my first half marathon race, and by now I have actually completed it, and today I'm showing you how that all worked out for me. My half marathon race was in mid-October, but I had decided to sign up for it around June, July this year. But with the decision of signing up for that half marathon race, I continued my training as normal, because at that point I had already registered for a HYROX competition in December, so I just wanted to continue with my training, which is some strength work, some HYROX work, and then a low intensity and a high intensity running training. And it all worked very well. I even think that the conditioning part in the high intensity sessions and also probably building your aerobic base with these low intensity runs go hand in hand very nicely, because in both HYROX and the running you need stamina and you need your aerobic base, but also being able to push yourself to a certain limit with high intensity. So I think that the running training and the HYROX training somewhat even go hand in hand. And 8 weeks prior to the race, I decided to take the running thing a bit more seriously. So I wanted to prioritize my running sessions. That means when the week was full and I wanted to cut out some sessions, it would not be the running sessions that I cut. And it also meant that whenever I had the time, I added in a third running session of some kind, maybe a tempo run, a different way of intervals. And there are all these nice little game runs out there to make it a little bit more interesting. And I used that time to explore. I did some trainings on the treadmill, some trainings outdoors on the track because it was summer. And I also wanted to include every other month a run that was the whole half marathon distance to feel prepared. I know that this is usually not how you have to train for a half marathon, but it made me feel safe for the race, so I did that. And my primary style of training was the long, low intensity runs outdoors because it was summer. For all of the people that live in the middle part of Europe, there were a lot of rainy days that felt more like autumn, but in general, I trained outside. The last thing that I want to say is that my training was still very sustainable for me. I was recovering well. I felt like I could go for longer if I wanted to, for example, in the low intensity runs. And if I felt like I am very fatigued, or it feels like I'm not recovering well, or I'm very, very stressed in general, I then varied my training. I changed the sessions, or I cut them out completely to make it sustainable for me. And also it was summer, so in the first half I was very, very busy with stuff for my studies, and then in the second half I was either working full-time or doing short holiday trips, so my training varied very much throughout the summer. Obviously on vacation I was prioritizing being on vacation and enjoying my time there, but if I felt like it, and I mostly felt like it because running is such a nice way, especially the low intensity sessions, to get to know the area where you're staying way faster than you would be if you were just walking. So that was really, really nice and I enjoyed that, but it was not really more than a casual low intensity run with stopping if I wanted to stop, or admiring the views and everything like that. And with that being said, I hope that you enjoy the clips where I show you a little bit how my training sessions could look like in those varying weeks.
friends, I haven't talked to you for the whole run to start with. I don't know if I've already talked about this, but currently I'm a week off to the countryside for vacation, and it's very lovely. It's very rural, hence I haven't seen one single soul for the entire 10k that I'm running already. At the beginning it was so hilly and so uphill that I wasn't able to properly run it in the pace that I wanted, and so it was kind of a bit frustrating. But I mean, I really went like in the middle of the woods somewhere. There was not even a way, so it was really stupid to go into the woods without a plan. But yeah, I overcame that, and since then it's been quite hilly still, but actually I haven't had such a refreshing run in a very long time, and I just stopped worrying about that this is the perfect training and preparation for my half marathon, and I just started running. And what can I say, it's lovely. I'm enjoying it very much, and I think this is your reminder to sometimes stop worrying about the stats and the performance and start enjoying. I mean, I have seen so many different areas and types of nature. It's just refreshing for the brain and very calming, and it makes me very happy.
Hey friends, it's the afternoon before my half marathon race tomorrow, and since I helped a friend move today, I dedicated the rest of the day to relax and get as much rest as possible for my body until the race tomorrow morning. So I thought I could mentally prepare for the race and thought I'd check in with you. And I'm honestly a little bit nervous. I'm really excited. I am very much looking forward to the race tomorrow, but I'm also a bit nervous because this is the first ever race that I run. So I thought I wanted to, because I will be alone with my thoughts in the race, and maybe a banging playlist if I feel like, to get very clear about my intentions and my goals for the race beforehand, so that I don't make my mind go crazy during the race. My goals for the race are to finish, and it doesn't matter to me if I need to take some walking breaks or whatever, but my goal is just to finish. My goal also is to have fun while doing it, so I just want to enjoy my time there. And I hope that this is possible for me. I would really like to stay injury free, so I'm not pushing myself to a limit where I know it could be a risk. And as you might have noticed, I don't have a performance goal because this is my very first race, so I don't want to put pressure on myself and then not make the time that I desire. Or maybe tomorrow I have very low energy levels for whatever reason and I cannot perform as well as I usually do, so I don't want that for myself, so that I beat myself up for not finishing in the time that I wanted, because I am very competitive, and if I have a performance goal, I want to reach it no matter what, and that is not my goal for this race. I want to gain experience, have fun, and get no injuries, and that is it. However, a few days back, I have seen on a info sheet that the cut-off time for the half marathon is 2.5 hours. So I don't know. It would be a happy add-on for me if I make it in the cut-off time. Probably it's possible, but I don't want to put pressure on myself, because then if something goes wrong, I would be very sad instead of being happy that I've made it. I will pack a running vest, and some of you might find that very ridiculous because it's just a half marathon. But since this is my first race, I take this running vest as a security blanket with me, so that I have my phone on me without having it in my hands. I'm not filling the gallons, so I'm not taking lots of water with me, because it is, after all, just 21 kilometers. But yeah, I wanted to take it with me just for me to have a feeling of security. And I think this is something that could be very nice for you as well, to figure out for your first race or for any race what makes you feel best within that race. And if that is some equipment that might seem ridiculous to other people, you should not care about that, because after all, it's how you feel in your race. And if this running vest or whatever else gives you a sense of security and makes you feel better in that race, just go with it. And I think that is everything that I wanted to say before the race. And then there was the race day, and let me tell you, I was nervous. I was so nervous about everything. I was nervous that I would injure myself. I was nervous that I would get lost, which is probably nearly impossible because there are so many people going in the right direction, and also the distance is not so long as with ultra marathons that you are on your own in the race and you could get lost or something. But that was one of the thoughts that I had. Also, honestly, everything from I won't enjoy it to I will have to go to the toilet and maybe there is none. So there was a whole long list of things that I was very nervous about prior to the race. But already coming to the event destination where you pick up your plate and you prepare yourself and you put your belongings away and then you go to the starting point where the race starts, all the vibes were so positive and all the people there were giving you a sense of security that it will all be fine. And it was such an amazing experience that even before the race, I was, of course, still a little bit nervous, but mostly excited, and all the fear completely gone with the first few steps that I went into the run. And it was so funny because, as everyone already tells you, you get so hyped up and the whole crowd starts moving and you set off too fast. And it was the same for me. I had a certain kind of pace in mind that I wanted to keep for the first period in the race, and I was starting off too fast. Realized it, then slowed down, but the slowed down version still was a little bit faster than I had originally planned. It was all fine in the end, but I was honestly really trying to go as slow as I wanted to, but it was just simply not possible because the crowd is just pushing you, not physically, but like mentally. And it was so great. All the people that just came to watch the race and to cheer for maybe people that they know, but they also cheered for each and every one of us. Even for people like me who were very much in the backfield, wherever you would arrive, they would still like cheer for you. My strategy kind of was to go as slow as I knew I was comfortable with for the first half, to see how I feel, how my energy level on that day was, because I was not really sure how it felt like to run the whole distance in one go, because usually if I went for a half marathon, I had admiring view breaks or drinking water breaks, but not running the whole distance in one go. So I wanted to be safe, and so I went a little bit slower for the first half, and then in the second half I wanted to see how I could push myself, and my pace was around a minute faster per kilometer than it was in the first half. So probably I could have gone faster from the beginning on, but because this was my first race, this was the strategy I kind of went for, and I'm fine with it. I had no injuries whatsoever. I felt great, and with that I also was already completing the goals that I have talked about in the last clip, which was not getting injured. I did that. Completing the race, I did that as well. And I even did the bonus thing, which was coming to the finish line before the cut-off time. And overall, it was just such a nice experience. The weather was so good, and I was really worried about the weather because it had been raining the days before the race a lot. And I was so happy that it went so well. For the last few meters, I even did a sprint. I don't know why my face looks so, can't even put it into words. And I felt so happy and accomplished, and I was so proud of myself that I took the leap of faith and that I tried it. The whole thing from arriving, getting your plate number, to finishing, and my parents surprised me at the finish line, which made me very emotional and happy. And all of that, just the whole experience, the run itself obviously too, was so overwhelmingly positive that I can just recommend it for each and everyone out there to just go for it. Sign up for a race, because if you have somewhat of the same experiences I had, it will make you feel great and you will want to sign up for the next one. Immediately after I finished and I took a breath and everything, I was like, okay, I'm signing up for the next one. Luckily I didn't, because I have High Rocks coming up in December and that would not be very sustainable. But in general, the feeling is like you want to get more of this because it is just great fun. And to conclude this whole recap and this little video, I would like to say that a few months back, I was a bloody beginner too, and I still am. I still feel like a baby in the realm of running, because there are so many people out there that perform so much better. I think the key to enjoy your experience is to stop comparing yourself to these people, because maybe this is their 10th half marathon, or maybe they prioritize their life around it. Maybe they even do that professionally and use this half marathon race just for a little training under real circumstances for another championship that they go for. You have no idea what these people are doing in their free time, so it's important to prioritize what your goal is for this race and to stop comparing yourself to the people that have so much more experience and therefore obviously advantages in that race. And you always need to remember that these people have started at some point in their life as well. They were the beginners like you are now. And I have rarely ever experienced that other people who are performing in sports and taking part in such events are putting other people down or making them feel small just because they are beginners. This is usually not how it goes, because everyone knows that everyone has started at some point in their life as a beginner. What I want to say with this is, and I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record by now because I have talked about this in each video, but it is really a message that I want to put out there. Do it for your own sake and for showing up for yourself, showing yourself that all the training, all the putting science into practice is actually doing something and you are able to perform. If I can do it, you most definitely can do it too. So be curious and just sign up for a race. And if you don't feel like signing up for a race because there are other people and you don't like that, just do your own little race for yourself. Pick a day in the calendar where you go for that 5K, that 10K, that half marathon, or even a marathon, and just do it for yourself with the peace of mind. But I highly recommend signing up for a race and an event because the atmosphere is actually incomparable. I hope this video was helpful for you in any sort of way, that it was inspiring for you, that you would like to try something like that, or that you see that it's actually possible for average normal people to do these kind of things. And if you enjoyed it, please like and share so that we can spread the word of surprising yourself with great experiences when putting science into practice. If you want to see more of this, feel free to subscribe to the channel and join our little family. And comment if you have any further questions or thoughts on the topic. And with that being said, I hope you stay curious, you look after yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!